This is the KoperCrabb Podcast.
I'm Cheney Crab.
I'm Naveen Copperweiss.
Today on the podcast, we have our friend Miles Dimitri Baker of Interloper.
What up?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, no
Fuck
problem. Oh! Alright. I think everything's working.
There we go. So, Miles, what have you been up to lately, man, over this strange last year for band people especially?
Yeah, it's been real bad for everyone involved in the music industry. But as far as what we've been up to, Interloper, we signed with Nuclear Blast.
Yeah, that's sick.
We actually did that in January, like last January, right before everything happened. So we had, just signed. It was like right around NAMM. I think we signed that in January, and we had some things that we were, going to put out, and then, here comes like March, and I had a fill-in gig with Carnifex, so I was a little bit busy, and we were planning to like roll things out right after that. And then everything stopped, and so it was like, okay, maybe we'll push for like a summer release. And we'll do like this EP that we have of like old songs, and then it kept going, and they're like, yeah, you want to be able to like go out and do some support runs, in support of this EP. And we're like, okay, maybe it'll be fall. And it's like, maybe it'll be winter. And it's like, it's the next year. Let's just put this stuff out. So we really did that. But I mean, in the meantime, we tracked that EP in January, actually, or February. It's one of the two. So that had like already been done for a long time. And that's the one that just came out on the 8th of January this year. Right. And so in the time after that, we finished the LP and got that all recorded. We went in September and did the drum tracking for that. And the guitars started being tracked right after that. And we finished that. I think we finished tracking everything in like by the end of September, maybe early October. Wow. And so it's just been all of that and behind the scenes, and really, you guys know the deal, putting the record together. It's not just like, oh, it's done. We're done. It's like, we're done with this. And now here's like a whole barrage of other things you need to do.
Right. And it's not like, okay, it's done. It's going to come out soon. Then you give it to a label. If you're signed, especially, it's like, you give it to a label, and then they have to plan it out alongside their other releases, and it's a whole debacle that you have to go through before like this material that you've probably have had written for like 3 years is.
Especially the EP stuff. I mean, it felt really good to get it out, and it was a nice thing to like put that music out and get it into the world, and like brand Interloper is basically a new band again.
Totally.
And new lineup, new singer, all that, and just get the songs out, because we had the LP done, and obviously like the newer music you write, in most cases it's something like you like more and like, can tend to be better. Right. And so it's like, man, we got these new songs, we want to put these out, and it's just, I know. The whole thing. Yeah, it was a whole event, getting it out, and COVID made it crazy.
When you guys initially retracked this EP, because the EP that you guys just put out a couple of weeks ago, what's it called again?
A Revenant Legacy.
Right. So when you were tracking it last January, did you already know that Andrew was going to take over on vocals rather than Mike, who you guys had on your old stuff?
No, we actually didn't. It was a whole process that kind of came to be. And Mike, he was really great and like nice to work with, great dude. I liked him a lot. Guy. But as time went on, it kind of became more apparent that Andrew might be like a better fit, for various different reasons. I think a lot of it came about when we were having the vocals track of the EP, because Andrew and I got together and just like ripped the EP tracking in like a day or two. I just went over to his place. I was in one room, he was in another one, and then we would like track stuff, just like double check, and then just like hammered it out really quick.
Yeah, totally.
And the process with Mike, is a little bit longer, and like vocals, of course. I mean, I'm sure you might experience this. Like you can only go so much in a day. Something with like an instrument, but like the voice specifically. Like if I overplay a little bit one day, I'm not going to be like toast for like 4 days. I'll be okay. Right. So that process took a little longer. Writing the LP in the process, a lot of it was done, and Andrew was starting to write and record vocal parts for it, and he started sending them to us, and that was kind of when we were like, oh, yeah. And I was like, this is really good, and nothing bad about Mike. It felt right,
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, it's just natural, especially being as young of a band as you guys are, and we go through it too. We've only been a band for 5 years, 6 years, and it's like you go through changes. You start to find out what fits, what doesn't, things that, you know, you may have like really thought were going to be good in the first place end up not fitting as well. And to me, it makes sense. It's like Andrew is a guitar player. He's a fucking really good vocalist too. I mean, I've seen him. He posts videos on the internet a lot of him like playing guitar and singing at the same time. And he's a really good vocalist. So it makes sense that he, you know, if you're that involved in the labor of writing guitar, I'm assuming if you're a guitarist and vocalist, you're obviously coming up with parts at the same time. It's only natural. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he's been doing that for a long time too with his other bands as well. So this isn't like a new thing like, oh, we'll try this out and like, let's see if it works, you know, like stakes are high, let's risk it all. You know, it wasn't like that. It was like, he's been doing it, you know, it wasn't like a huge gamble.
And you guys are now all like local.
Yeah,
right?
that's
a huge deal.
Totally.
Like, you guys all live really close to each other, right? He lives down there, doesn't he?
Yeah. He lives in Corona. I live in Orange, and Aaron's down in Costa Mesa. So I'm like in the middle, which is great because I hate driving. So we like meet up. It's like always fun.
Still pretty.
And so
close.
it's like he's about 50, if it's traffic hour, if it's like 4 p.m. and you're heading towards his house, just fucking forget about it. Like I won't go.
Yeah.
I gotta stop. You know, it's like one of those things. But with no traffic, we're all about like 15 minutes from each other.
That's so chill.
That's amazing.
We've never had that situation, and now that like we're in a situation where we're gonna have live members go out with us, we are looking pretty local. Or at least we're trying to get people who are local for a large part because it's just cooler to be able to practice and have everyone in the same spot, general area.
Like, do you
and
guys
schedule-wise too.
Jam?
Okay.
Like, do you and Aaron like jam a lot or no or?
Surprisingly, no, we don't. We've just been so busy. We used to a lot more when we were younger, and you know, we will be like, that's a big part of like, you know, kind of why things are the way they are now. You know, we're going to be able to like have extensive rehearsals. You know, he's got a lockout, you know, between where I live and he lives. So like, you know, 8-9 minutes for me. And for him, so like we could all link up and really like grind it out with rehearsals, which is going to be really nice.
That's
so sick.
We don't get together and jam too much. I'm not like, I don't want to leave my house a lot. I'm one of those people.
I hear that. I mean, even especially when like click tracks became a thing, it was like, oh, I'm just going to jam to the click track. We'll catch you guys later.
That's kind of it too. You know, we're not like a jam band, you know, it's not like let's get together and like lock in. It's like, you know, I'm already locked in. I don't even have you guys in my ears. I don't want anyone like doing the track. I want the click and I want me. That's it. I don't want to worry about it. If someone blows apart, not my problem.
I know. That's pretty much.
Same.
Yeah, I pretty much do the same thing for the most part.
Yeah. And it's a weird thing though, because it does like, I'm sure you've talked about this with people too. It's like, it feels like less of a band, like not getting together and jamming all the time, but it's like kind of cool that you can just like, everyone shows up, and if you practiced, you know, which all of us are, they're good. It's good
like
to go.
on the, we had a couple tours lined up right before the whole COVID thing. And then, we were taking out, my buddy Chase, who, lives here in Santa Cruz. Like he was in Animosity with me, and he was in Decrepit Birth, and, he's got his own bands and all that stuff. But anyway, he lives like...
Chase. Oh, never mind. I was thinking someone else.
I don't know. You might know.
Chase Frazier.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking Chasen. I was like, hey.
Oh, no. Chasen's drums.
Yeah. But it was sick because he just wanted to jam all the time, like just to get comfortable with the songs. And I was like, fuck it. Like, so we were jamming like a few nights a week.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was sick.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of guy who I'll just like, I won't practice any of the material until like a week before a tour. Like,
oh my God.
Oh, fuck, I gotta do
it. It's never been bad for him. It's like he still goes in and kills it. It's
I get that. Some tours I just don't rehearse at all. And I'm just like, all right, we'll jam but we had it set up to where everybody was living in another state. So it's like they'll come in for a week and we'll practice. And then, you know, that would be.
Yeah, I like that, and that's important too, because there are even like playing with the group, you know, you're getting like other sounds in, you're not like in the room, you know, like you got normal clothes on, you're not sitting there, you know, half naked playing guitar by yourself, with computer grease all over you, you know, like you're standing up, you're in an environment, and that's something that's like important to get the kinks out, you know, even with the click tracks, like that's totally something that it it just works that way. You have to rehearse, for most things.
And just dealing with like all the gear,
Oh God, yeah, which is a whole nother nightmare on its own.
Just like the rigging, the setup of everything, making sure there's no mistakes, backup drives for like, here's a session file, someone I downloaded it onto their USB stick for the tour in case my computer breaks.
Are you like the tech guy in your band?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, we all know how to do it, but I set up the sessions with rings, and then I set up the sessions for Loper, and it's just like I don't mind doing it, and I think I'm like with the routing and everything, I'm a little more experienced just because I had to do it. It's not like rocket science. But,
totally. But
I've already gone through the trial and error. So if something's like not working right, it's like I know what to do to fix it.
Right, totally. There always seems to be, like in our band, it's Naveen. There always seems to be one guy who's in charge of all of that stuff. Even though everyone else kind of knows their way around it, there's got to be like a main. I don't
think you guys know your way around.
We don't. It's always like, Naveen, can you do this for us? I was just trying to cover for myself. I know everything about my stuff.
But, nice try, dude. So it's
like,
hey, my in-ears aren't working. Can you come over here and fix this for me?
It's like me freaking out 3 minutes before we go on stage. Like my wireless pack won't connect correctly. Naveen, please fucking help me retune this.
Honestly, I'm so shot with those wirelesses. Like, anytime there's a problem with them, I'm just like, I don't know, just hit buttons until it fucking works.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes and it depends where you're at. Like Las Vegas, for example, dude, you are fucked if you're using in-ears. It's so. Can I swear on here? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
We're good.
Oh, okay.
They all swear words.
This isn't a G-rated program, Miles.
Yeah. So it's like certain cities, it's so bad.
Yeah.
The RF, it's like you're scanning through the channels. You're like, okay, channel I'm at 3 now out of 10 doesn't work. I still got 7 more. You're like going further. I'm on 7. None of these are working. I'm on 8. None of these are working. Like, oh my God, I have 2 more. If this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I just hardwire my shit.
I can't.
Well, that's not. You're not moving though.
Yeah, exactly.
Just plug right because the mixer's over by me, so I just plug it.
Oh my God! Imagine if I hardwired myself. That would be awful.
That would not be good.
That would be a mess.
Yeah, people would be getting stuck.
I already trip all over everything, man. I don't need another obstruction on stage.
Yeah, I used to do the in-ears like hardwired like that. I would run a guitar cable and just like tape them. I think Evan Brewer was the one who did that.
Yep.
And I think that was like where I got that from. And man, I tell you what, I definitely like ate shit a few times on stage because of that. Like I step on my cable here and like yank it out of the guitar like 3 times a day. Just sitting.
Right.
Like I'm not even moving. Like,
totally.
I get so mad at my cables in my studio. Like we have a bed, like one of the bedrooms is like our studio, and it's like it got so bad to where there was just like cables everywhere. Because I'll just like I don't know if you do, I'll like plug one in to do something, and then just like when I'm done with it, like just throw it off to the side, and then it's like that with like a whole drum kit and like a bunch of guitars and stuff. And the other day I was just like, all right, I have to like not make music for like 8 hours and just like totally pick up all the cables and. I went and bought like a rack to like.
I've got a. I'm showing it right now.
Yep.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's nothing, dude.
It's
that's pretty bad.
I saw a photo. I think he put something up on Instagram of the rat's nest.
Yeah, it's bad. But yeah, I went through and like tried to make a little like drum snake with like zip ties and stuff, and I don't know, it helped for sure. But you have a lot of guitars, so I guess you got to have a lot of cables for all those fucking guitars.
Yeah, I have more too. I've got a couple.
Jesus, you have another one off to your right. That's a lot of guitars, man.
They're all ESP, right?
There's 2 in the closet and then 2 at Schecter right now.
You're Schecter.
Schecter, that's right.
Yeah.
You're also.
But unfortunately, I don't have to have a different cable for every guitar. I just use one.
Totally.
Right.
You're also left-handed, aren't you? You play left-handed.
I play left-handed. I'm actually right-handed with like. Okay. I'm right-handed, like right and do things with my right hand, but I swing bat left-handed. I play guitar left-handed, and like I golf left-handed.
Wow,
so that's really weird.
How did that come about? Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes sense for me, and it wasn't thought out. It wasn't like, this is my good hand. I should do this. Like I didn't have a clue. Someone like handed me a guitar, and I was like, I'm holding it this way, and they're like, no, you gotta hold this way. I was like, that's not right. And just like flipped it over, it was one of those things. And I kept doing that. And after enough time, like fooling around with my buddy's guitar when I was like 10, I was like, I want to like play guitar. I think I need to play a left-handed guitar. I can't hold this thing the other way. And that was kind of what started it, you know. And same thing with like a baseball bat or like golf. It's like, it's just, I can't do it the other way. It'd be like trying to kick with your left foot if you're not like, you know, left-footed.
Yeah, that's
impossible.
really interesting. Wait, so can you write with your left hand?
No, I mean, I guess like really badly, but not equally to my right hand.
Wow.
My penmanship's already bad, so the left hand's probably just atrocious. It's really, really bad. It's like that's pre-K level writing, maybe.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting, though. That's so strange. So have you known Aaron Staconnor since you were a kid? Because you guys have you were in Rings together, and now you're in Interloper together. Were you in a band together before that as well? Yeah, so
Loper was like, we like more or less started that band. We like jammed a couple tunes out. Like we used to jam in my garage before, actually, way before Loper, actually. So we met on Craigslist when I think we were both 16.
Damn, I wish I had that ad, dude.
Wow.
The ad? Oh, dude, I know. Yeah, I wonder, it's probably gone. I might be able to go back in my emails and find it,
it's like,
honestly.
What did that ad say? If you could kind of just maybe try to remember what it was. It's like
single man looking, I don't know.
For a partner.
I was looking for people to play with, like a band, you know. I've been playing with this guy I knew before, and you know, I kind of like outgrew that situation a little bit and wanted to do something a little bit more like
it's
serious.
Like me, drummer who can do blast beats.
Yeah, drum and bass must be blast beats and
long hair.
Melodic death metal, and that's it. No, but yeah, it's just like looking for a band thing, and so I went over and jammed with him, and they had a band called Mirrored, and that was with like Dylan Fur, and then
what was it? Mirror?
Mirrored, like a mirror.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah, and so we did that for a while, and then we started like working on other tunes, and that was kind of what became Interloper. And you know, I was like sitting there, like, you know, picking the name. It was like a Half-Life reference. I'm a huge Half-Life fan, and I was like totally where I got that from.
Okay.
And so I did that, like drew out the logo and all this stuff, and then like tracked some stuff. Had someone like Aaron like program the drums, and then I had someone like do the samples, and that was like the first couple songs. Red Letter Day, Conjuration, Absolution. All of those were just like tech death Miles, like 16, 17, 18 years old, you know, and Aaron, you know. And that was like the start of the band, and then he went off to play with like Abiotic and all this stuff. So we've been like in and out of bands with each other for 10 years.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, that's pretty insane that you met on Craigslist, because I have looked on Craigslist many times, and I did when we lived in LA, and it's like nothing good ever existed on Craigslist for me or came about. It was just
it was like a freak thing, you know.
It's like metal really vixen.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah, mine said metal vixen.
Metal
looking
vixen,
for screaming vixen.
Leather pants, a must.
That might have had an impact on the outcome of this.
Yeah, that must be why I couldn't find a band.
I just want that Craigslist ad, dude. I want to know what it
I know. I do
I'm
too.
Stuck on this Craigslist.
I know, especially since you guys were 16.
Yeah, I know.
Influences include.
I'll look for it at the end of this. At the end of this thing, I'll take a look back. I have the email account that it was on. It's got to be there.
Oh shit!
It definitely
might
is.
be. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, it would be easy to find. It's just type in his email or his name, I guess.
Yeah.
In Craigslist.
Yep.
So you've been playing guitar for like a super long time, or what? Since you were like 2 or some shit.
No, actually, I started playing when I was 1. I started playing when I was 10. I got a guitar when I was 10, but I didn't like really take it seriously. Like I kind of just like fooled around, like try to play like Pennywise or like, you know, try to do like the intro of Crazy Train or something.
Oh yeah, of course.
I wasn't like serious, but as I got older, I took some lessons and stuff. You know, my parents I wanted to take lessons, and I went to this place, Adam's Music Studio, down by me, and I went through 3 of the teachers there, and Adam was the first one. Doug was the second one, who I still talk to. Who's actually, he just loans me gear all the time. He's awesome. He works for me. We're like still totally friends and stuff. That like Black Star, you know, that's back. I have it backwards because my cat likes to scratch things, and that's his amp.
Yeah.
That would not be cool. So, but him, and then what was the other guy's name? Oliver Alderwood, amazing classical guitar player. I took classical guitar with him for a few years, and that was that ranged between like 14 and like 16. And when I was about like 15, 16, I think is when I started to really like get into it. So
you're like, all right,
total 16 years, but like very heavily for about like 10.
Yeah. That's kind of the same as me, actually. Almost the identical story. I started when I was 10. Like, my dad's a drummer, so he had a drum set, like, in the house and stuff. But
That's cool.
when I was 10, he was like, oh, you want to, like, learn a beat? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I actually wanted to be a guitar player. That was, like, really what I wanted to do. Because, like, you get to, like, look hella cool, you know, and you're, like, got a guitar.
It must
like,
feel so cool to be a guitar player, especially a lead guitar player.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Like, when I was a little kid, like, that was, I wanted to play guitar.
Greener thing. I think it's really that. Like, playing drums looks badass, too, and, like, being a vocalist is cool. It's like, I don't know. I think it's always one of those things, like, damn, I wish I did that.
Yeah. Totally. But, yeah, then I, like, learned drums, and I thought it was kind of cool, I guess, and then I just kind of kept doing it, and then
now you're stuck. With it. You really want to be a guitar
player. Now you're a drum legend. So.
Now he's a guitar player and a drum legend.
I like playing drums for sure. It's better than guitar. Guitar sucks, but guitar is sick because you can like write music, and so that's why I like to play guitar.
That's true. Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, you do a little like limited with that with drums, even if you have them like tuned to notes. You know, you see those like giant. Who's that guy that's got that drum kit? That's
Terry Bozzio.
Terry Bozzio.
Yeah.
That
whole thing.
We just had his kid. We had his kid on the show
like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Rainan.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, Rainan was our roommate. We lived with Keen in Van Nuys in like 2012, and Rainan was our other roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea you guys lived down here and
we did. We lived, when I was in Animals, we lived down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. All those dudes are from here too, huh?
They're from D.C., but we all moved to L.A., like, when the band first... Let's see. We did a couple tours, and then things kind of were like, all right, yeah, this band's going to be really big. And then we're like, all right, let's move to L.A. That thing, yeah. Moving out to L.A. to make it.
We're going to L.A.
Yeah, going to L.A. You live the Hollywood dream.
Yeah. And we lived in North Hollywood, actually. It was pretty sick. Man. It was pretty sick. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, that was...
Hollywood's fun. Totally.
Yeah. It is fun, especially if you like to party as much as we did back then. Because, you know, there's somewhere to rage every single day.
Yeah. You guys have toured with me, you know.
Oh, dude, it was like, wake up. It was like, wake up at like 12 and then go to like this Vietnamese place.
Yeah, that's what.
And then it's like, all right, what are we doing tonight?
Well, we went to Porto's. You know,
or Porto's.
It's like hip Porto's.
Do you guys ever go there? I think there is.
No, I've never even heard of that. What is it?
Oh my God, it's a really good it's a bakery, but it's.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
That's putting it.
Yeah.
There is one down there now, by not too far from you. Because there's like a huge one that they just opened, and it's in I don't know where it is, but it's Chaney. Explain to him how sick Porto's is. It's the best.
Porto's is really good, and I'm trying to explain. It's like a bakery, but I don't know. They serve like medianoches and potato balls, but it's
so
kind of
good.
a chain.
Yeah.
I think
is
there are.
Is it like a European place, like a Polish type?
No, it's like a.
I'm trying to think of the.
I guess it's like a Spanish type.
It's
place.
Spanish, but I don't know if it's like South American or.
Oh, see, there's one near Anaheim. It's in
Buena
Park.
I mean, dude, it's fucking still good.
Oh, that's not too far.
It's the first. It's the first place that I ever drank espresso. So I just remember getting like super fucked up on espresso every morning, and then drinking all day the whole time that we lived in LA. Basically.
Yes, they have all these pastries, and it's like. There will be like hundreds of people there. Like it's huge, and there's.
Oh wow! So it's like a cult following place.
Yeah, and when you go there, you feel like it's somewhere that like you're on Food Network. You know what I mean? It's like crazy.
That's cool.
And there's like a million people working there. Like they're hustling, and everything is really cheap. Like they have these little like mini croissants with cheese in them that are like 75 cents.
Yeah.
And, like.
Oh,
anyway,
wow.
It's just insanity. It's so good, and we used to go.
I like that. I like when there's like popular places like that don't like totally like jack the prices up. That's cool.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Like, it feels like good integrity. I don't know.
Totally.
It makes me like happier about it. You know.
So,
honestly, that's one of the reasons why I will stick up for In-N-Out, because In-N-Out isn't the top quality anything really. It's really good, and they have fresh French fries, but their customer service is so fucking good that it's hard to. Deny that part of it, and it's so cheap. It's so affordable.
Yeah, it's really not bad. Yeah, in and out. Yeah, there's one by me that I go to off and on. I mean, sometimes you want that like shitty McChicken, you know, like I really do. It's weird. I don't know. I like have a craving for it, and I just like know it's trash and just want that. But like for a burger, you know, you go to In and Out. It's like it feels like real food. You know, it's not just like
totally fresh.
Yeah, you know, like I can't just leave this here and it'll be okay in a week. You know, it's like one of those things.
Right.
But yeah, so we used to just eat shitty food and party every day.
Yeah, that was our LA life.
How long did that go on for?
Just like a year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half or so.
Oh,
yeah, and then we moved to Santa Cruz because I moved to LA from Iowa to live with Naveen and animals, and then we moved up to Santa Cruz like a year later after we lived with Keen.
Yeah, so we left the animals situation, and then that's when we moved in with Keen and Rain, and that wasn't for very long. And we were like, what are we even doing down here? Let's just leave. Because that was after I left the band, and it was... Didn't really have...
I mean, it's so expensive too, man.
It's really
it's like, you know, like you're staying with the partying and stuff, like if you've got an itch for that, it's like so easy to just like totally scratch it. You're like, let's just go party, you know? It's kind of nice to be out of that environment. You're like, yeah, man, you know, I should drink water, but I think I'll wake up and have vodka instead.
Yeah.
It's like the mindset. You're like, I'm in fucking Hollywood. It doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
it's like the reality is, it's like, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. No, of course not. I mean, of course you shouldn't. But, you know.
It is totally, that's something that I like about, we live in Santa Cruz now. It's something that I like about it here. It's like a sleepy town. So, you know, it's for old people. There's no party to go to. You know, everyone's staying home.
It's like your favorite band's not like playing every day.
Yeah.
That was another thing. There were so many good shows in LA, like electronic shows or whatever, what kind of music you like. It's just like,
granted, right now we're talking about all kinds of things that are of the past because nothing exists. Nothing really happens.
You've got a case of the old world blues right now thinking about shows again.
Yeah. So were you like, was the Carnifex thing that you were going to do, was that going to be long term, or were you just going to fill in for some tours or?
So it was going to be like filling in and stuff. So I learned like, dude, I don't know them now. So it's like, Crunch is like, hey man, here's like 8 songs and it's like 6 days from now. I'm like, okay.
Holy shit.
You know, that's a lot for me. So I like really rush learned these, and you know, I just had a couple dates to do on that tour, and then they had, you know, we talked about like some other stuff in the future that was going on. It sounded like they wanted me to do it. And then COVID happened, bus was on, like it was like 5 hours away. Like we were ready to leave, you know, for the tour.
Wow.
Oh my God. So they
it was like
ordered
that fucking morning. Yeah. And then it was like booking agents were calling. I was with Sean, and he's like, dude, every show's getting dropped. And then, you know, he like walks back in, just like tour got canceled.
Oh my God.
You know, and I was like, oh fuck, you know, and I felt really bad for them, you know, especially, you know, like I'm filling in, like being a fill-in dude for stuff, like nothing's like your problem, you know, you're just filling in, you get your day rate and that's it. But like, you know, I like these guys and they're cool dudes and they're friends of mine, you know. I'm just like, fuck man, like you guys really put a lot into this, and I felt horrible. And so I was going to be doing a handful of things, and I ended up doing some live streams with them, and that was cool. But I think we did like one more after the last one I did with them, and they've been like working on the record now or something. So
that's cool. Yeah. That's really awful that happened, because we were in a position where we were days away from ordering merch for the tour, and had we gotten to that point, it really would have fucked us over. But being about to leave, that means that they had a ton of merch already prepared, and like, you know.
Yeah. It was not a small merch order. I can tell you that.
Was it a headlining tour for them?
Yeah, it was a co-headliner. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ, that's awful.
Pretty rough.
Yeah, and like bus deposit, all that. I mean, just like everything, you know.
Oh yeah.
So many bands got hit hard with that too. I remember there was Thyroid is Murder, Aversion's Crown, like a couple other bands, maybe like Enterprise Earth or something. They had just started a tour in the States. So they flew from Australia. They had their merch orders and everything, and they played one show.
Oh my God.
Had to turn around and go home.
That's so rough, man. I really hope that all of the bands who lost money or, you know, touring potential, anything over this time, are able to recover from it, because I think it could be a time that's super detrimental to bands, but it also could be a time that bands used, you know, in a positive way to record an album. Or
it depends on the band, you know. So many bands seem to be writing and stuff, and that was what Loper did. It was like, dude, we just signed this like worldwide record deal, hell yeah. And it was like, let's stop everything right now. And it was like, this is like the worst timing to ever have done this. And so, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have been like taking advantage of it, but it's hard. I mean, especially now where, it's like, oh, it'll be like 2 weeks and it's like, 50 weeks after that now.
Yeah.
I know.
However many, it's just like, it's hard to keep going, like I got burnt out making videos and doing all of that. And just like, it feels so bleak and almost like, hopeless looking towards the future. Like I'm doing all this work and like, are we ever going to tour again? Like that's like, it's hard to keep going. That's how I felt at least.
Yeah. I mean, it will come back eventually. I mean,
Eventually.
Yeah, but
I would assume so. It would be weird.
I would assume so too, but I mean, I also thought that this wasn't going to happen at all. I really thought it was bullshit when people started talking about it. I was just like, there's no way that tours are going to get canceled, even though it was kind of in the back of my mind. But then once people started actually canceling and coming home from tours, I was like, okay, this might be real. But still, there's always, like in September, there was the hope of it coming back around now. And now there's the hope of things coming back around fall. And where are we going to be in the fall? It's just constant. It's like you were talking about with the record. It's like things just kind of keep getting pushed back. We're always hopeful for a few months in the future, but we don't really know, how or when.
Yeah, and it's like it's at the point now. I see like a flyer, a band's like, "Hey, here's our tour dates for this." So I'm like, "Good luck, dude." That's how I see it.
Me too.
I know, me too. Cool. When I see those flyers, I'm like, "That's not happening, man."
I saw one for like something in February. It was like a Euro, maybe like Black Dahlia or something. I think they put something up for a tour, and it was like. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it happens.
I really hope it does. Like, I want everyone to be back on the road and making money and like doing what we all love to do. But it's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, totally.
It's like everything just got shut down again. You can't even go get fucking lunch somewhere. How are you supposed to go on a tour?
Shit. I mean, for me personally, it's been kind of cool because I'm just like, all right, well, I'll just regroup and work on a bunch of stuff, and then our band was going through all kinds of stuff, member changes and whatnot, so it's been kind of cool to have some time to just like re-establish the band, so it's been cool. And honestly it's probably okay for you guys too in a way, because you sort of need time to like hash everything out and like get your band in order. There are a lot of things with bands, like the internal function of something. Like there are sometimes like really fucking serious conversations you need to have with people and like just do things. Even people like your best friends in the band, you're like, I'm gonna, and you gotta like talk about it. And having this time has been so good to like I said, regroup and with member changes too. Interloper, we had one, and had this not happened, which I would have still much preferred, but we would be in a different spot, like we would be, we would have music out with maybe a different lineup. Like, it's been really good to like find ourselves in like the internal function of the band and like writing, and just like the flow of the group.
Totally.
So it hasn't been like a total loss. It's not like, it's just like all time wasted. Learned a lot and got a lot done too. But now it's like, on the week 500 and we're just like...
Yeah. And you like, you probably had that goal of getting the EP out, right? And then it's like, it's out now. And you're like, cool. All right, well, I guess I'll work on the next one.
Yeah, I mean, well, since you're someone who, you have the experience now, you've released something in quarantine. Do you think that it worked for you or against you? Or do you think there was any difference at all?
I think personally for this band, pre, COVID, and now it's an entirely different operation and in a really good way. I think it was for us really good and very important that we had this time. Yeah. But, there's like the sad part of, the tours and all of that. But I think for the long term, the rebranding and like launch of this band in the most solid way that we could have had it, it was, we were very lucky, that this happened at this time, because we'd be going through a different situation right now.
Totally.
That's honestly exactly how I feel. And it's like, I mean, another way to look at it is you don't have like it's not like there's an option to like be stuck on COVID or not. So it's like you are stuck in COVID, so you might as well try to make the best thing out of it that you can.
Yeah, and I mean, I've also, just as far as the actual release of an album goes or an EP, I've seen people like struggle back and forth with with whether or not they think that it will be good for like their numbers or any of that other stuff. And I just personally look at it like if you put something out during this whole debacle, you're making sure that people don't forget about you during this entire thing. And now that we've entered like an entire year of it, it makes sense to me for us to like try to move forward in some kind of a way. Because honestly, man, if your mindset is in this place where it's like, I'm not going to put anything out because I can't go and tour on it or it doesn't matter, I feel like you'll come out on the other side in more of a negative than
starting
than a
like
positive.
where you left off, or
Yeah.
it's like,
Absolutely. And I mean, like the numbers for streaming, that's like the new metric. It's like who gives a shit how many records you sold this first week? There were so many bands like like I know off the top of my head, for example, like Children of Bodom. The last record they did as a group, it was like a crazy low number first week, but like obviously they're like a tenured band, like they're not going home.
Yeah.
Right.
They weren't going anywhere.
Right.
And what the deal is now, it's like you could put things out and have your streaming numbers high. So, when tours come around again, you'd have those slots, you have numbers, people care about this band. And that was, a big thing with Loper that we did. And I kind of regret it, but I kind of don't, in a weird way. But overall, it's like waiting to release something not only makes that music like less exciting for you, but you're just like holding on to this thing.
Yeah.
And like it's getting old and like it starts to lose its like luster. You're not so excited about it anymore. And in the meantime, you waited, and like you said, like you're in the same spot that you were before. It's like just put the fucking music out, and like keep putting more and more out. That's like what you need to do. We have this EP that came out, and we have an LP that's coming out like
there you go
very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Extremely soon. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know when this podcast airs. I'll tell you guys after. But
it airs on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're gonna put it out.
Okay. Yeah, I can't say, but like really soon. And so just like that's the whole thing we're going for now. And I think most bands are seeming to go that way, whether it's like singles or just like releasing more, like that, the 2-year tour cycle or album cycle is very antiquated now.
Yeah, not going to work. I always hated that. Like even when I was a lot younger in bands and stuff, I was like, this
so
sucks.
long.
It's like, let's just fucking make music and put it out, dude. Like whatever. Because that's like what I like to do more than anything is make like, if you went on my computer, you could probably make like just get an album out of it right now. I mean, it might not be that great, but it's like there's so much fucking music on there. I'm always just like randomly making riffs or like
So
I'll get a fucking itch one day and just make a whole song or like you know what I mean. And so from my point of view, it's like okay, put an album out. Maybe it does or does not do as well as it would have when there was touring. But then it's like, okay, cool. I'll have another one.
But
ready.
it still exists.
I'll have another one. I'll have another one.
It's still there. People
I'll have another
still
one good to
heard
go.
it.
Yeah, and then
exactly.
I'll get all that stuff that I'm going to get from that album, and then I'll have another fucking album ready to go when tour comes back.
Yeah.
If it's that
and
long.
The musical trends too, like you have things that are like hot at that moment. It's like, dude, no one's like really doing stuff like this. This is cool.
Yeah.
And then, if you hold on to something for like a year or so, it's like this band just put a record out. They totally like, you guys were like in sync from afar, and they're like putting something out that's similar. It's like, you're already listening to that too. Like the freshness of stuff changes, as
That's
every
true.
release from every band, especially when the scene comes out. Things, hopefully not always sound different, but, generally bands evolve and there's new sounds happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's slowly taking a grab of like these like cool things you can do musically. And if you just wait on it, like your idea might get passed up.
Dude, totally. I feel like a lot of local bands do this. Like they'll have 3 or 4 songs that they play for the span of their career. And like, those are the songs they hold on to until they eventually get to like a recording studio and to record them. And they're still playing those old 4 songs rather than writing new songs. And that's kind of what the thought process of holding on to shit reminds me of. It's like,
I know.
There's no point in holding on to your old material that's probably a lot worse than what your new material is. Why not just get it all out?
I know.
It's all just
You're like stunting your growth.
yeah. And the more that you put out, the better. That's how the musical world kind of works now. I hate to say it, but a part of it is quantity over quality. And it just doesn't make sense to hold in music just to wait until tours exist again. I think that the past 10 years we've learned that you can be a band that has fans, makes money, on the internet alone. You don't really even need to tour when touring does happen to do that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think it's better to just release stuff during this period.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and then you look at other areas of like the music industry, like a lot of like the rap and hip hop artists, those dudes are like kings of singles, they're putting out a single every month and getting, a couple million streams on it.
Totally.
And it's like fresh in people's mind. It's like, oh dude, this guy just put out this killer single that everyone's using on TikTok, for the entire month. And then like that time period and like the excitement of the song wears off and it's like, boom, here's another one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I think of things now, like in the last couple months with like Instagram videos and like just putting up random stuff. It's like, maybe I'll put up a random video and like, it won't get very many views or whatever, but it's like I still put it up, and it's like maybe the next one will be like we were fucking around the other day on like Friday or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'll play like some Dying Fetus riffs and like put drums to it, and then I did that and I was like, dang, this is actually pretty sick. And then Cheney did like the little vocals on it, and it's like,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so it's like that was gonna just be some random little video that I was gonna throw on my Instagram. But then it's like Dying Fetus shared it, and it like got all these views and stuff, and like got the band a bunch of, traffic on the, and it's like, it's cool to just do stuff randomly, and that's honestly why I like the whole Instagram, like kind of just, you can kind of just like work shit out on there, you know what I mean? Just some hey, here's some fucking riff, and it's like you said about the rappers and stuff, it's I kind of feel like that's almost the equivalent in a way, because metal bands aren't really going to put a song out every month. It'd be cool, but it's just not going to happen. It's too much work, like a rapper just does, rapping over a beat. I mean, I'm not like trying to downplay what they do, but like to make a metal song is a lot more work, to be real here.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it, I think.
But like that's what's cool about just doing little clips and videos and stuff, because it's like those can blow up the same way a song could,
Yeah, I mean, God, and even like silly stuff. Like I put up something with my cat, like touching my guitar. And got, like 115,000 views.
Jesus.
Like, stuff like that, and it's about relevance. So many bands wait so long, like that. The old world, like 2-year album cycle. Like, dude, no one's doing world tours right now. Not many people do those in the first place. You get maybe like a year of touring out of something. Really pushing your record. And you just got to keep putting new music out, because that's how you're going to like maintain your fans. If you just like wait, it's like it gets old, and then there's other bands putting records out, and that person's a fan of that band more than yours, and you're like, what am I doing?
Yep. Totally. So have you been like doing a lot of lessons, or do you have a day job, a normal job, or what do you do for a living?
I just teach.
That's awesome, man.
Teach, and that's what I've been doing for how old am I? 26. Yeah, I've been doing that for like 6 years almost. I think I was like, I had a job at Home Depot before.
Hey, those are some good discounts, man. Home Depot discount.
I didn't even get a discount at Home Depot. Employees don't get a discount.
What?
Damn, brutal.
Oh, calling Home Depot.
The orange apron. I was a cashier. It was like the worst thing ever. I hated it. I mean, it really helped me like develop like a strong work ethic for like not wanting to ever do that again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't go back to this. I'm gonna go to aisle 12, grab some rope, and fucking call it a day.
Yeah. I feel that. Well, at least you know where the products are located. Which aisles
now you're not confused when you walk into a Home Depot.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I was like a cashier. I was like banished to the front. And people always come up, hey, where's this at? I'm like, I don't know. I'm fucking tethered to the spot in the store. And I'm going to tell my manager that I don't know anything because I don't have a choice but to stand here. And I just sign up for a Home Depot credit card today.
Yeah,
it's sucks. Like, God.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. I love Home Depot, though. I love going to Home Depot.
Huh?
Yeah, Naveen loves
I'm
Home Depot.
a Home Depot fanatic. I love going there.
Dude, I like home improvement places, too. It's really enjoyable.
As long as they aren't writing your check.
Yeah, the smell of it, the sad employees, it's the whole experience, man.
I know.
Well, now you're just projecting.
It's the one. It's like the one store where like you don't have to worry about being hounded about if you need help. You know what I mean? Like when I see like sometimes when you're at a store and they're too much on you, they're like, yeah, can I get you something? You let me know if you need anything. Like Home Depot, you see an employee, you're like, he's definitely not going to say anything to me. He's not going to try to help me. He's like, like. It's super hard to even get help there. So like, I feel comfortable there.
You need like wood cut, and it's like a 30-minute wait, and someone's just like sulking in the back. I don't know. It's like,
I actually tried out a new method at Home Depot
What is
for
it?
getting help.
Yeah.
So every employee there looks like super mad and they're like, they're pissed off and they're over it. So what I did was I saw a lady coming, right? And I needed to get some wire because I actually just made a huge trip to Home Depot because if you can see this little mood lighting back here, I like hooked
Yeah,
up.
I can see it on your hand. Yeah, I can't see it with the camera.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I hooked it up with like a bunch of lights in here. So I needed to get some wire because my cable wasn't long enough, blah, blah, blah. So I went to Home Depot and bought the wire, and I'm like, you have to get an employee to cut the wire for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I see a woman coming. She looks super pissed. She's over it, doesn't want to talk to me. And I was like, hey, this is I just thought of it on the spot, and I'm going to do this every time. I'm like, hey, can you maybe just radio, like you have a walkie-talkie, like get someone over here to help me? And then they're like, oh, yeah, I'll help you real quick.
Oh, yeah, because they don't have to do it.
Yeah, instead of being like, hey, I need you to cut this from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my, like, giving them a little.
Oh, it's a
little
tactic.
Yeah, it's my tactic.
That's a Home Depot hack. That's perfect.
That's what I said. Like,
dude,
I'm
I
like,
need
hey,
help, and I know you don't want to do it, so can you ask someone else to do your job?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
want to do it.
But then she was like, no, I got, what do you need? And then it's like she's being cool.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So a little mental
I
jujitsu
actually
there.
thought you were going to say something else because, sometimes I thought that she might freak out on you, like because she was a woman and she may have
you don't
thought
think
she
I
may
can
have
help you?
assumed that
Coulda
you
gone
thought
that
she
way.
was incapable.
Could have gone that way.
That's the way I thought it was going to go.
It could have gone that way.
Yeah.
It could have gone that
Dude,
way.
yeah, you gotta be careful. You can't talk
But
to
she was
anyone.
walking with purpose. So it got which
Yeah.
I don't know what people at Home Depot. They don't help anybody, so I don't know where they're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't either, dude. They just walk around. They're doing the zombie shuffle, man. That's it.
They're not
They're
helping.
like
anyone. That's
monsters.
for damn sure.
Wow.
I would be like I would love to work there.
You probably
Maybe
would.
not at
You
Home
know,
Depot.
honestly, working there, if you're not like working like the front end is like what the cashier department's called. If you're working like in garden or something, like that job wouldn't suck. You don't you just restock. You get to walk around, like talk to people. When you're stuck like to one spot where you're working like returns or like front end, that's like what makes it suck because you're just like it's like your carpet square. You've been like reduced to like kindergarten again. Stay in your carpet square. Don't leave. But these other people get to go like walk around and do stuff and like help out. Like that.
Yeah.
That would make it more. It would make it less miserable working there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you have any good Home Depot stories?
I mean, dude, I didn't like the job, cashier, like I hated it, but it wasn't like I was being tortured or something.
Yeah.
Like I fucking signed up for it, I needed some money and did that.
So wait,
but
then,
I had fun, like there were times it was cool, like the employees would laugh, or like cool people who would come in, like, nice customer who's like not a downer. And I had a good time, but I don't have like a particular story in mind. Like this one time I was at Home Depot and it was like the best day ever. Like, I'm not
No nostalgic Home Depot stories. Fuck, dude.
So I guess that was before you were like a touring musician.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I was playing with the band called Aenimus at the time. And, like,
They're on Nuclear Blast too, right?
Yeah, they signed like last year, 2 years ago now maybe, but. Yeah, they're on Nuclear now, and we weren't like making money touring or anything, and I needed work, so I was kind of touring, but I mean they weren't like a full-on touring band, like the goal, like my thing that would be ideal for me is be out like 6-8 months a year, like that would be great,
Yeah.
And that's where you can start to kind of like leverage it, unless you're like a huge band where you're like we only need to do 2 tours a year and we can keep our Malibu home,
Right.
Like, that's pretty
Guns N' Roses.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah, so that was touring then, but not like full on. And then I think I was teaching a bunch. I started getting more people. I started sharing like my guitar videos in like the Facebook groups and all that, and people were taking lessons from me. And I was like, dude, I'm making more money doing this than like my entire week at Home Depot.
Wow.
What am I doing? And it was like I can put all my time into like working on music and like making more videos and teaching more people.
Totally.
And I just like made the jump, that was really it. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of people seem like scared to do it. And, I was at an age too, I was like 20, it's like I have nothing to lose, I can try this. And if it fails 5 years from now, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just like made the jump and like so far so good,
So was it through doing all of those videos and everything that you started playing with rings, or was Aaron involved first, or you, or how did that come about?
Okay, so what happened? I'm trying to. There's like several different like events that happened. I'm trying to remember the order. So what happened? Luke needed a place to stay, and I was living in an apartment with my dad at the time.
That's meeting the guy from what's his name, Lucas.
Man.
Yeah, the guy, the guitar player from Rings of Saturn.
Yeah. So he came down. This was when Mitch Lucker died, and there was that tribute show, right? And so he was going to that, and he just posted up something, hey, you need a place to crash with me and a couple of buddies for a few days. And I was like, dude, totally. I was a fan of the band. I was like, hey, Dad, like, care if this guy crashes here? He's like, whatever. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he was like, off with his girlfriend or like whatever he was doing. It didn't matter. I had plenty of space and whatnot in the apartment. And so he came down, and Aaron was there. Aaron and I had been jamming already and hanging out with friends at that point.
Yeah.
And we just hung out and like, we kind of like clicked a bit, and he saw me play guitar, and he was like, damn, like you're really good, this and that. And then what happened, like maybe a year after that, they lost their drummer, and Aaron joined Rings, right? And so a year after that, another member change happens, the annual thing, events like happen, and they needed a guitar player. And so Aaron was already in the band, and they needed a guitar player, so I auditioned actually against a buddy of mine who was in that band Mirrored. We all used to play in the first band that we met on Craigslist. So we went head to head, which sucked because he's a buddy of mine. Yeah, and I got
no
picked
contest.
And that's how that whole thing kind of developed. It was really that. But I think as far as like excluding Rings, just like general people like getting to see me was like through those videos, like you mentioned. It wasn't like directly involved with Rings of Saturn, but a lot of other things have. Really, that's been like the catalyst for it. Share videos on Facebook, and there you go.
Yeah, which is interesting because you're a little younger than us, and I don't know if you've gone through this with people that you know, but for us and people, I'm 32, Naveen's 35, almost 36. So for people like who we grew up with, some of them really, really do not like the internet thing. Like they don't want to put themselves on the internet. They think it's cheesy to post videos often or to try to promote yourself in that way. But to me, it's a fucking fantastic marketing tool. And honestly, if it wasn't for like that aspect of the whole music thing, I don't know that I would be on the internet that much. But do you know people like that, or was it ever a thing that you questioned, like being on the internet?
I didn't like question. I knew, being 26, I think, everyone was like, I'm like the internet,
Yeah,
kid.
Totally.
That was like my growing up was like when the internet really became like the sickest thing ever,
right.
And so I thought it was a great idea from the get-go, and I was all about it. And, like my mom, for example, she was like a Penthouse centerfold, like had a long, like 12-year modeling career, like really successful. And the whole thing was like, promoting yourself, being out there doing work, and like in the internet equivalent would be like out doing promotions and like calling people, like wake up in the morning, have your Coke and your Diet Coke and breakfast, and then you call people and like try to get work. Yeah. That's like the same thing as, like posting videos on the internet. Hey, here's this like cool lick, and then I have like a list of groups I share it into, drop them in there, and it's like, 7-string group. Yeah, they would like to see this video. I'm playing a 7-string. Yeah. I never thought it was weird, it's like it's just the way you do it, and it's not like corny or cheesy, and I didn't really do like those like instant like corny videos, that wasn't something I did, because you can get on that side of that. There's a reason people do it.
Dude, I can't even explain. I was just talking to Naveen about this last night, like the amount of those tappy guitar players who just all play that like one kind of tappy music. Do you know what I'm talking about? That just come across your feed constantly. That's kind of cheesy to me. You have never like your kind of playing, or just your whole the aura of Miles it's not that at all.
I try not to be. Yeah. And, I don't feel weird about the videos I post. But, I mean, there are people, even friends of mine are like peers in the music industry, for example, who are like, man, like you're on the internet all the time. And it's like, yeah, dude, this is how I like make money. Like, of course I am. This is like my fucking job. Dude. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah. I mean, I know
like a lot of those people are like gripe, like, oh, my social media doesn't do that well, this and that. I'm like, maybe you should like use it more. It's like, it's so fucking obvious. I know. Like, I just don't like want to make videos and like, just like, I don't have time to like reply to people and do this. And like, well, no wonder no one comments on your shit. You just ignore everyone. Like, stuff like that, where it seems common sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think you see there's like the older generation of musicians where like they didn't have to do that, and they're like not gonna start. They'll like put an occasional clip up, with the selfie cam like that, because they just don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's super grainy. It's made with like an iPhone 3.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they're like a multi-platinum band on like a fucking toaster phone.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think you do see a correlation though with people who do the internet grind and, some level of success, whether it's like in the form of views and, interaction on the page, or like people going to buy stuff, or people like more importantly going to like find your band, like, oh, this dude's sick. Like, oh, he has a band. Let me go check that out.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's the name of the game for me. And like, I have no shame doing it. I don't think it's a shameful thing.
I feel the same way.
Like, I know for a fact it's landed me gigs. And it's landed me some other stuff that I'm working on right now that
Same.
I'm not going to talk about right at this moment, but things have materialized just from me being around. Like, I was, because people, you don't know, if you really think about the inner workings of how people operate, they'll be thinking of a project or something, right? And then it's like, oh yeah, I just saw, Naveen's video. Like, we should get him to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
You have that edge over the guy who didn't just post a video.
Or, I mean, when it comes to people wanting to work with your band, what's the first thing they're going to go check? They're going to check how many subscribers you have on YouTube, what your Spotify plays are, what your Instagram and Facebook look like,
just what it is.
Your Twitter.
I didn't fucking make it up.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
It's just kind of the name of the game.
That's the metric, and that's really important. And like you said, with like getting gigs, like that's totally it. Or like getting lessons, getting students. Someone's like, hey man, I've been thinking about lessons. Oh, I just saw this guy like posted. Let me go look at my saved. Oh, this guy. Yeah, let me hit him up.
And, exactly.
Absolutely.
That's it. And it's word of mouth. And dude, you also like never know who's watching. Like I'll see people like, like it's like dudes in big bands. Like one of the 5 Finger Death Punch dudes. I saw he was following me. I had no idea. It's like that's cool. Like I don't know that guy. I have like people I know who might know him. So it's like a friend of a friend type thing. But the accessibility for people to find you and like just staying relevant. It's like releasing music, You put out 1 video a month versus the guy who puts out 10, like who's going to get thought of first?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That guy.
Dude, absolutely.
They're the ones who's there.
I really think that the base of it is having a good product, being able to play the guitar well, or putting out good music.
That's the other side of the coin.
That's the other side.
People will be like, oh, I just need to put up a crap ton of videos. And it's like, well, you need to be good.
Yeah, they have
and
to
the video
have
should
substance.
look pretty good.
Exactly.
And, that's kind of, I'm guilty of that too. Like back in the day, it was like, oh, I'll just fucking whatever, just put something up to put it up. And now I'm like, well, what am I putting up? I should just pour the creativity that I have into that thing, and have that be a part of my artistic expression or whatever, if you will.
That's where almost some of like the catch of it comes to now, because it's so saturated. Everyone's got like a great DSLR, great audio and video production. You're like, you can't just put this little thing up. I gotta do something that's at par. And then like I went through a thing last year where I got like burned out making videos.
Yeah.
It's like so easy. I play guitar. Like it's not fucking hard to like warm up. I don't have to do anything. Like I keep this all set up. Like I don't have to do anything to make a video. And it just like it somehow became too much for me.
I'm the same way, dude. No matter how easy it gets, I'll drop down and be one step lazier. Or like, cause I was doing today, I did the same thing and I was like, dude, all right. It's like your drums are already set up. Yeah. Like the mix, I already have a mix for the drums. Like it literally takes me like, I'd say 15 minutes to make like a fully ready to go, like 1 minute Instagram video that looks and sounds, what I think is really good. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so I've been trying to not be lazy and be like, just put up like 2 or 3 videos a week, dude, just do it. And it's, it's been cool. Grind. It's definitely helped me out. And like, another thing I noticed is it had like an effect that I didn't really expect, where it was like, all right, if I'm going to commit to putting up 2 or 3 videos a week, well, then I need to be like, it's made me more active as a musician, because it's like, well, I'm not trying to be over here just posing like I'm doing music stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, now I'm just doing music stuff all the time, and then it's easy to post. If you're only doing it for a post, then it becomes like a chore. But if that's just what you're doing anyway, then it's like, just put your camera up real quick and just show people what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. And it makes you, it's like accountable for your chops. And that's something that I went through a period late last year after we finished tracking the LP. I was like, I don't want to play guitar ever again. You know, I was like, I really like fucking felt like that. I was like, I'm so done. And I just like, my chops went down and it was like, you know, I didn't play for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I was like, I'm in no condition to post any videos for like probably at least 4 days of like really drilling and getting my shit together with like my fingers working again. And so it's a cool thing for like accountability, you know, if you're just staying on top of your videos, like it becomes less of a pain in the ass to shoot them, you know, like you don't have to worry like, God, I'm playing it. It's like, I can't get this take, you know, because your chops are good now. Yeah. So it's like, it's more fun. Like I just did that. I shot a video last night or the night before. It was like piece of cake, easy breeze, just like 2 takes, 2 different angles, got it like second or third try and it was done.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the best, man, when you're so used to what you're doing, when you're so warmed up that you can just get in there and bust something out really quickly. But it does take the persistence of like doing it every day and not wearing yourself out to be able to be at that point all the time.
And that's kind of,
exactly.
I mean, and I think that's, for me, has been like a really good part of it, you know, because I'll just start fucking going off and doing all kinds of weird random shit, you know, and now I'm like, all right, dude, focus in. You can't be doing all this, you know, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, just do the music. That's it. You know, that gets it. And that keeps me kind of anchored to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a cool thing. And I mean, you look back on it too. I had a period last year where I was really cranking out a lot of videos and it's like, man, like I was really productive. Like that felt good. You know?
Yeah, I know. Totally.
Yeah, I was like getting more students and I was just like having fun because my playing was good. And I'm someone I get like, I don't have like depression or like not like that, but like I definitely get down when my playing isn't good. And like I have a standard. Yeah, I have like
guitar-based depression.
Yeah, so, like it's funny, and I don't think I'm like alone here. I think like maybe some people I know.
Yeah, I feel
we have the same thing. It's like if my chops aren't good, and I know I've been lazy, maybe I'm like drinking too much or like not playing guitar, like just doing anything but like what I've worked all these years to do. And for some reason I got here, I'm like I don't feel like it anymore. When I do that, it's like I get bummed out, you know? I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like really just like wasting my time and it bums me out. So I'm gonna have to like work to get my chops back up. It's not like you just like pick up your drum or your drums or like your guitar after like a month of not playing. You're like, I'm where I was right before. It's like,
I feel, oh shit. That's it. Lost him.
Did you lose the episode?
I didn't lose it. But the computer went down.
Text him and be like, the computer went down. So we're just gonna end it there.
Should we just end it there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for listening. Unfortunately, my computer went down. I don't know. I got a bad battery or something, dude.
Damn.
But anyway, thanks a lot for listening. We'll get with Miles here. We'll have to have a part 2 or some shit.
Yeah, definitely.
But
all right, man.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
This is like the couple of week in a row that this has happened.
Technical difficulties. Back at it.
Technical difficulties, man.
But that was still fun.
Yeah, that was great. Miles is a good guy. Great guitar player.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Just text him.